I don't know if he's on board just yet, but he should be here shortly. Not quite yet. Hello, how are you? Good to talk to you. Let's see. All right, we'll get Chris on board now. What's up,
Hey,
sir?
we did it.
We did it! Yay!
Amazing technology.
I know it's so crazy. Is your first Instagram live?
Yes.
Sick. Well, I'm glad to be part of it.
Excellent.
So
What's
how you
going
been?
on?
How you been?
All good, man. Just trying to
Cool.
stay busy.
I know it's crazy, right? I wanted to jump right in if you're cool with that. We got about 10 or 15 minutes. Is that cool?
Hit me.
All right, sounds good. Thank you much for joining today. How did you get started in drums in Australia? What was the music scene like, and how'd that happen?
How did I get started? Kind of like everyone else. I found inspiration in my favorite bands.
Right, right.
Um, I had a bunch growing up, but it was Metallica that really started it for me.
Okay.
I remember seeing Lars and he did this crazy hair flip, and I'm like, I want to do that for the rest of my life.
That's cool, man. Yeah, how was
And
yeah.
then getting into the career, like I just started playing with local bands, and then eventually met this bass player Eddie Parisi from the band Baby Animals, and he got me started in the cover scene in Australia, and he was the one that really whipped me into shape.
Yeah.
Um,
Got you going.
and yeah, he was the one that was like, "Have you ever seen a double pedal in AC/DC?" He's like, "No." Well, stop it. Think about what you're doing.
He's like, that ain't right. That ain't right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we met. You were selling a cute kit, and I bought it, and I really enjoyed talking to you and your experiences, and it was really cool. So I want to say thank you again for joining us, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, pleasure, man.
Yeah. Let's see here. What were some of your early drum influences? You said Metallica with Lars.
hmm
Any other bands or something that kind of shaped you into saying, "Well, I want to do that," you know?
Um, yeah, it's funny. The more my drumming abilities progressed, my band um, inspirations went with it.
Sure.
Sometimes the other way around as well.
Right.
Um, so it started with like Michael Jackson and a lot of Aussie rock when I was young,
Yeah.
and then got into Metallica, and then kind of went into more of like the funky stuff. Like I got really into like Korn and Limp Bizkit, um, and then and then I discovered like Dream, and then Tool, and basically think of all like of the top drummers on the planet, and it was all of their bands that I kind of got
Yeah.
into. So like when I was 14, I was really into Blink 182, and like going from listening to someone like Lars and all the metal bands that are quite straight ahead but very aggressive, and then listening to something like Blink. Um, Travis was just all over the place. He wasn't playing like a drummer in my head,
Yeah.
and then same thing, like John Otto from Limp Bizkit, like hearing a bunch of like funky 16th note ghost note grooves. Like I'd never heard that in like a Metallica song.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe they didn't record it or something happened. They X'd it out, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've had a similar journey then. That's kind of like my journey too, like Metallica. Like, yeah, it's crazy. I love Primus, and I've
yeah,
always loved,
awesome.
yeah, I love funky stuff like that. Um, how would you describe your music career? Like, I mean, where you are now is amazing. Avril Lavigne is awesome. Congrats on that. That's so cool.
Ah, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. What experiences have you had that kind of made you get into where you are now? Anything you can relate to other younger drummers?
Um, it's all just about kind of getting yourself out there. It's so cliche, and it's so typical, but um, my experience growing up would probably be very different to someone now because we didn't have all the internet back in my day. Like I'm not that old, but um, I couldn't just upload a video to YouTube when I was a teenager and try and pump it out there and get millions of views.
Yeah.
Uh, um, so my journey was a lot different. It involved just doing gigs and um, being in the scene. And that's ultimately what I did. Is I moved from Australia to Los Angeles and started playing around in the scene. I was touring as well with Filter, meeting a lot of people through the scene. And one person talks to another person, talks to another person, and all of a sudden there's an opening somewhere, and it's like, are you available to do this? And that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
kind of how it goes. But the best advice I can give is just to work hard and be giving.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if you if you a nice person, nice things tend to happen, I think.
I would say so. Yeah, I love you. I was going to get to this later, but I love your Instagram feed because it's like I've seen you're playing video games and ping pong, and it sounds like you really enjoy traveling and being present in the moment. That's really cool. Can you kind of talk about that?
About road travel?
Yeah, yeah, like
Oh
what you
man,
enjoy about it. Because I love, like you were in Chicago and you seem to really dig Chicago and stuff. So that was cool.
that's my wife and I's favorite city,
Yeah,
just because of they have Nando's. If no one knows what Nando's is, just Google it. I can't even begin. Um, it's the greatest thing in the world. They also have the Cubs. I'm a big Cubs fan, and they have pinball.
yes.
and and they have Sue, and my wife and I are big dinosaur nuts. So they have the Sue the T-Rex in Chicago. We just love that place. But yeah, road travel, like that's what life is like. It's just trying to make the most of every moment out there and have adventures. And it is deceiving. Most people would like look at, if we had one of those maps that have got all the pins on it of all the places you've been, like
yeah.
between my wife and I, we've been to so many places, but we don't get to see much, really, because we're usually only there for like a day.
Yeah, yeah, in and out, yeah, kind of thing, yeah.
If that, like a lot of the Canada runs I've done as well, you arrive in the morning and then you're gone as soon as the show's done, because you've got to drive down and go to somewhere else.
Yeah.
So so many people are like, "Oh, well, Canada must be amazing." I'm like, I think it is. Like the places I've been look really nice.
Yeah, like it's beautiful from the window, it's cool.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us? I think this is such a cool thing you did. Your audition for Filter. Can you kind of explain what you did? I mean, you went all out, and I really appreciate what you did. So kind of talk about that real quickly.
I heard through a friend that Filter were looking for a drummer, actually from a few people, from Jeff Friedel, who I was taking lessons with at the time, who used to play with Filter, and also through my buddy Umi Capilla, who's a guitar player in Australia. He started working with Richard. Everyone starts talking, like I said before. Drummer position comes up. I don't know if you know, but I actually heard about the drummer position twice, 6 months apart.
Okay.
And the first time I couldn't get in there. Oh, look, I can see people in the chat. Hi, how you doing? The first time I got asked, I didn't have enough time to get a visa. They were like, "Hey, we need a drummer for a tour." My buddy Jeff was like, "I want to recommend you for it, but it's pretty tight. I don't think we can do it." I'm like, "Bummer. Thanks for thinking of me."
Yeah, yeah.
But then it came around again, and Umi was working with Richard, so there was a lot of talking going on there, and I rented out a studio in Perth, still one of my favorite studios on the planet, called Crank, and basically took one of my favorite Filter songs that had some crazy stuff in there, and filmed it live and made a video immediately and sent it that night, just to kind of show my vibe.
Yeah.
And luckily it went down really well. And Richard was kind enough to bring me out to the States.
I think that's so cool. You're in Australia. You're like, I'm going to do this crazy. It's awesome. So congrats. That's so cool.
Thanks. Yeah.
We have a question from a fan here. Favorite female artist?
Favorite female artist? Gee, let me have a think.
Yeah.
No, funnily enough, like Avril is amazing to play with. She's just incredible and has been one of my favorite female artists forever.
Right.
That's no word of a lie, because when I was growing up, I was saying before, like some of my favorite bands were influenced by drummers that I really liked. Josh Freese was a huge influence of mine, and Josh played on a ton of Avril stuff. So along with my, you know, Metallica, Limp Bizkit playlist, it was also full of a lot of like Avril Lavigne and, funnily enough, weird side projects that Richard did with Wes Borland and Josh Freese. And I had no idea it was even Richard when I was a kid.
Right.
But I just was this amazing singer, and Josh Freese. So I had a ton of his work, and that meant a ton of Avril's work. So I was maybe 14. Oh no, it would have been 18 around that time. That I was jamming to all the Avril and playing to all those songs, and songs like "When You're Gone." That's Josh, and it's some of my favorite drum fills ever. And so when I play those with Avril, I'm playing them like note for note to the record because they're my favorite fills ever.
You're like, I'm gonna nail this one.
Like this is so ingrained.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So much.
How's it been playing with like Tom Morello? That's an amazing project. How was that for you?
Tom's amazing.
Yeah, he's such a gifted. Oh, so good. Yeah.
Yeah. Same deal. Tom has been my favorite guitar player for my whole life. The stuff he did with Audio Slave is just incredible. And recently, he released his Fender Tele custom model.
Okay.
And I got to go and do the release video with it, like the promo video.
Right.
And we went to this crazy warehouse and got to play an Audio Slave medley with his new signature guitar, and that was pretty surreal.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sick. That's awesome, man. Yeah, so cool you've done all these projects. That's so neat. So, yeah, congrats to you, man. That's cool.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, I know you're not around your regular studio rig, but do you have some drums you could show us, or what you're working on now, or any projects or anything?
Yeah. This is our studio space.
Okay.
It's modest at the moment. We just painted it a few weeks ago, so I learned how to paint. It only took me 3 coats to get it right. But this is about here. I can swivel this around. So my wife is a bass player. We met playing with Filter, funnily enough. So it's covered with a lot of like guitars and basses and stuff.
Right.
We haven't done any of the aesthetics in here yet. That's coming. This whole wall is going to be all crazy wood slats and sound treatment and everything. But what we're doing for the meantime is I've gone all digital. So I'm actually using it's a Roland TD1 that I borrowed off of a friend. I have a Roland TD27 coming. Okay.
I love Roland stuff. It's just solid. That's my personal
so good
shop too. Yeah.
Yeah. And what I'm actually doing is I'm using the TD1 to trigger Superior Drummer 3.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It's just I was really not against sampled drums, but kind of wary of them because I could always hear the cymbals. It always they could never quite nail it. And I just started researching Superior Drummer and out of a friend's recommendation. And when you listen to the ABs of like the real kits versus the Superior Drummer kit, even there's something that people are going to check out, the making of Superior Drummer and then the Bob Rock making of.
Okay.
And you hear the Thrice album and then you hear the Thrice drum kit sampled playing the album things, and you can't tell the difference.
That's pretty sick. That's sweet.
It's exactly the same. They went so over the top with detail, and I'm like, all right, I'm sold. So if it means I can just spend a few $100 and get like the best engineers and the best sounds in the best room with the best mics and outboard gear. It means I don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on this studio. And it still wouldn't even compare, because like this is like a, I don't know, 13-foot room. And the drums that they're recording are in rooms that have like 50-foot ceilings.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
Yeah, like you just can't compare.
Yeah, what's some experiences that you've had being a professional drummer that you've really enjoyed? Like, was there a moment on stage where you look around like, dang, this is so cool? Or do you have moments like that still?
I've had tons. Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
I feel really lucky. Every time Avril would walk out on stage, I told her this as well. Every time Avril would walk out on stage on the last tour, and she's wearing a white dress, and you can see all the fans like see her for the first time, and they're all emotional. I'd be sitting on the back going, "That's beautiful." Just watching everyone watch her was pretty amazing. And then, you know, doing festivals with Tom or with Filter, and there's 30,000 people all like jumping to the song. It's like mind blowing.
That's crazy.
Every time. Like,
you tell Avril, you're like, I have something in my eye. Oh, jeez.
Don't look at me.
Yeah. That's awesome. We got another question. What was the last song you played on your Spotify playlist?
Oh, that's a good question. It's probably really, really nerdy. I was trying to do some research for a video I want to produce, which is like a lesson type thing. And I've been trying to find this concept in a song. So the last song, I was searching in Dream Theater World, and I haven't found it yet. But the last song I listened to for fun was actually the Harry Potter theme.
my wife's here. Hold on.
Hi.
That's awesome. That's what I expect.
We have a hot tub out the back, and my wife and I we put on John Williams in the hot tub to relax.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Yeah, that's my wife Susan. She's a big fan as well. So
yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I wanted to play lightning round questions. A couple quick questions for you. You down with that?
Hit me.
All right, cool. Taco or burrito? I know, right?
Burrito.
Single or double pedal?
Double pedal.
3 bands, your ultimate concert. They could be alive or dead.
Ultimate concert. Oh man.
It could be like, you know, they're not around anymore or whatever.
I haven't seen Rage Against the Machine yet.
Oh my
God, yeah.
So, Periphery.
Oh, nice.
And who else would it be? Metallica.
Heck yeah, that's a pretty solid lineup right
That'd be huge.
That would be, yeah, let's get this going. Hey man, well I want to thank you so much, Chris. It's always fun catching up with you, man.
Likewise, dude. Thanks for having me on board.
Yeah, and we'll talk soon and have a great day. Enjoy your Harry Potter. And
Thank you. You too.
see you soon, my friend.
Take care, mate.
All right.